Hello students, and welcome to the 8-week summer session of Music Appreciation Online. I'm your teacher, Mr. Logan J. Smith. So for this video, I'm going to give you a little bit of introduction to the class and show you around our Blackboard page so you can kind of see what's going on and hopefully get an idea of how to get started with the class. So I'm going to switch scenes here so that you can see the Blackboard course, and I would suggest that if you don't have it pulled up on your computer, that you go ahead and pull that up so that you can kind of follow along and see where everything is for yourself. Okay, so when you click into Blackboard, this should be the first screen that pops up for you. Notice at the top that it says Student Preview Mode. That's because I wanted to be able to show you exactly what you will see whenever you log in and whenever you're looking through the page. So this should show you exactly what you see. All right, so you should see this what to do on day one section here. This is a pretty big, important part of our class to make sure that you read through this stuff and kind of know where to begin. And it does have my email there as well in case you need to quickly get back to it. Okay, you do have some links down below here. All of these same links also show up in the left navigation panel. So if you've not used a Blackboard class before, you can use this stuff over here to get to where you need to for the class. So one of the first things that I tell you to do is to watch this video. So good for you for doing that. And then I will have you go to the announcements page, and you'll see a link here to be able to go to a Remind page. This is, if you're familiar with Remind 101, it's basically a text messaging service. It allows me to be able to shoot you a text or send a text to the entire class at one time without actually having to use your phone numbers or my cell phone number. I try to keep that kind of private, but you are able to message me through Remind if you need to. I strongly recommend that you do that. There'll be announcements. If I notice that there's a due date wrong or something like that, I'll fix it and then I'll make an announcement about it. Things like that. It's just a helpful way for me to be able to communicate with you. Now, everything that I send in Remind will show up on the announcements page as well, so I do recommend that you check that pretty regularly. I don't send class emails very often. I may send one or two throughout the semester, but most of the time I'm going to be sending a text through Remind, so I suggest that you have that available. Okay, the next thing that I tell you to do is go to the Syllabus and Important Information tab and start looking through that information. So I'm going to click that so you can see exactly what shows up here. Now, the UACCM college syllabus, this is the common syllabus for everybody on campus. So you can find it there, click on it, read over it if you want to. This important dates just takes you to a calendar on the UACCM website. That lets you be able to see, of course, when classes start, which is June 5th, Monday, June 5th. And it also lets you see when the last day to withdraw is, when finals are, and all of that good stuff so that you're kind of prepared for the semester. And I'll try to keep you up to date with as much of that important information as I can as well. Of course, you have the link to this video, so hopefully you've already clicked on that. And then you've got three documents here, the course syllabus, the course outline, and due dates, and the course expectations. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time going over those with you so that you know, again, what to expect. So if you click on the course syllabus, it's going to download a file, and then you'll go to your downloads folder on your computer and open it. I've already got it pulled up, so I'm just going to swipe over to it. And if you open it up, it should open up in Word or whatever equivalent you have of that, and it'll look like this. So this is our course syllabus, which just gives you the overview of the class and kind of lets you know what all's going on. Okay, so of course you've got my contact information here. Again, my email address is right there. I do want to mention, if you're sending me an email, make sure that you actually type in the email address. If you just type Logan Smith, there are several students on campus that are named Logan Smith, and I've had students that'll send me a text and say, hey, I emailed you a week ago, why haven't you responded? And it turns out that they emailed the student instead of actually emailing me. So if you do just type Logan Smith, make sure that it says Smith Logan at UACCM. If there are numbers after it, that is a student email address, not a teacher email address. Okay. I don't have office hours. I don't actually have an office on campus. I'm an adjunct professor teaching online only. I'm actually in my office at the church that I work at full time currently. But you can meet with me virtually anytime you need to. We can meet through Kaltura or Zoom or something like that. Whatever you need to do. If you need to speak to me face to face, we can also arrange a phone call and stuff like that if you need to. Okay, if you ever need to get a hold, if I'm not responding for some reason and you need to get a hold of somebody about the class, you can also get a hold of the Dean of General Education, who's Marilyn Thomas. She has an office in the University Center. That's room 206 up on the second floor. Her office phone number is there and her email address is there as well, so that you can get a hold of her should you need to. Okay, you've got your course description here. I'm not going to read it to you. Course prerequisites and all of that good stuff. Now, quick word on the textbook. So the Music and Appreciation Brief 10th edition is the textbook for this class. It is required. Now, you don't actually need to get the McGraw-Hill Connect access. Okay, what you need is the textbook itself. We're not actually going to use McGraw-Hill Connect at all. So if they try to sell you at the bookstore a code, an access code to McGraw-Hill Connect, that is the wrong thing, and you need to tell them that's not right. That's not what our textbook is. So our textbook is this textbook. Now, you can get an ebook version of it, and I'm actually going to come back over here and show you where you can find that. If you go to McGraw-Hill or mheducation.com and you search for Camion, autocorrect there, Camion Music and Appreciation, and I'm going to let that finish spelling that for me. Here you go. So we are looking for the brief edition, and this is the 10th edition. So you can buy it directly from McGraw-Hill Connect if you want to. What I recommend students do is rent the ebook. It is the cheapest option for you. It's $54, which I know is not cheap by any means, but for a textbook, it's actually fairly cheap. So you can actually get this for $54. It's a 180-day rental, which is more than enough time for this class. And what I like about the ebook is that it gives you, not only is it the textbook that you can read on an iPad or in your browser on your computer, but it also has video and audio files to go with it. It even has a text to audio button so that you can actually listen to the audiobook. Now, it's not great. It's not actually somebody reading it like a normal audiobook. But it does, it is helpful. If you want to pull it up in your car while you're driving to work or something like that, you can just listen to it instead of having to read every word. But the big thing that I like about it is that it has the audio files and it has videos for extra little lessons and stuff like that, in addition to the lectures that I post. So that's what I recommend. Now, if you are somebody that prefers a print copy, of course, you can get a print copy. You can rent it for $70. The loose leaf purchase for about $150. That is basically, it comes in a binder, or it actually doesn't even come with the binder. It comes in a sealed package that you can put in a 3-ring binder to have it that way if you want that. You can get copies of that from the bookstore as well, and that should be all that you need. Now, you'll be missing some of the video and audio stuff, but you'll be able to find it in other places as you need it. Okay. Again, you do not need this McGraw-Hill Connect stuff. We're not using it for this class at all. This is the cheapest option. I recommend you do that. But if you want to see if you can find a used version of it somewhere or whatever, as long as it's the 10th edition, it should be okay. The brief 9th edition is pretty close, but it is going to be missing some of the information. But if it's worth it to you to get a used version of that for cheap, then do that. You'll have most of the stuff that you need. And I think everything else you'll be able to fill in from the lectures and stuff like that. Okay. Coming back over here. So that's the textbook. If you have any questions about the textbook, let me know. If you did get a copy of the Connect code, just go back to the bookstore and tell them, hey, I need to swap this out, and they should get you taken care of. All the normal stuff on here, course outcomes, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's talk about grading. So this is our grading percentages. I do weighted grades. Okay, so it's not something where you can just add up all the points and know how many points and all that stuff. I know it makes it a little more complicated for you guys, but I like to do that. Generally, I find that weighting the grades in this way actually helps students for the most part. As long as you do everything you're supposed to do, then you should be okay. I try to keep it to where the quizzes and exams are not the bulk of your grade. I was somebody that was terrible at tests, so I don't want those tests to be what really is affecting your grade. Generally, for my class, as long as you do these two things, you're going to do well. All right. Do your homework, get it in, get those grades. Okay. And if you do that, and also make sure you do the performance assessments, which I'll harp on in a little bit, more on in a little bit, then you should be okay. All right. The quizzes are not that difficult, especially if you've already done the homework. The multiple choice assignments that we do are actually the exact questions that are going to show up on the quiz. So that'll help you out. And then the quizzes are 30%. The exams are 15%. You do have 2 exams this semester, a midterm and a final exam. You will have 6 quizzes that come to a total of 30%. Now, I do drop the lowest quiz grade. And what I usually tell students for some motivation is that if you do well on quizzes 1 through 5, you can just skip quiz 6 and it won't affect your grade at all because it drops. So use that as a motivation to do well on the first 5 quizzes. And like I said, those quizzes are made up of the homework assignments, and I'll show you how that kind of works in a little bit. Obviously, we don't really have any in-class work, but homework assignments are the basic part of it. Okay. You've got all the stuff in here. Typically, the way that my late work policy goes is that you always have 48 hours to turn in late assignments. Okay, that's any of the homework assignments or the quizzes. Okay, these 2 things, the homework assignments and the quizzes, you can turn in up to 48 hours late and you will automatically get full credit. Okay, in fact, I probably won't even grade them until 48 hours after it's due. So be aware of that. Now, for the performance assessments and the exams, I will not accept those late for any reason. So please make sure you stay on top of those. Most of them you have several days to do. The performance assessments you can actually start working on now, even though they're not due for another month. But, go ahead and keep up with all of that stuff. So, and I will usually give you up to a week to get partial credit at least on homework assignments. So just let me know. If you start to get behind on something, the best thing that you can do is communicate with me. Shoot me an email that says, hey, I've been really slammed at work, or, I've got some stuff going on. Is there any way that I can get this stuff turned in? And I tend to be very lenient about this stuff, but you have to communicate with me. Okay. If I don't hear from you all semester and then you try to turn stuff in 2 and 3 weeks late, you're not going to get credit for it. Okay, so make sure that you're communicating with me and letting me know so that I know what's going on. All right? We'll talk about the performance assessments later. As I said, quizzes, we don't have pop quizzes. Obviously, this is an online class, but you've got 6 quizzes, and there's almost one every week. Obviously, there's 8 weeks in the class and 6 quizzes. So basically, every unit of the text has a quiz, and the way this class works is almost every week is its own unit. Okay, so you're going to want to stay on top of things. This course does move very fast. It's a lot of information to try to get through in 8 weeks. So you really need to be logging in every day and doing something. That way it doesn't get overwhelming for you. If you wait until Saturday of every week and try to do all of your homework for that week, it's going to take you hours on Saturday. I don't recommend that you do that. Okay. The midterm and the final exam are covered here. I'll talk more about those in just a minute. I do want to talk about attendance real quick because this is always confusing for an online class, right? This is an asynchronous class. We don't really ever actually all come together and meet. So the way that attendance works for these classes, and this is a university policy, this is not my policy, is that you have to participate in class in some way during the week, okay, during each week. So that means you have to turn in at least one assignment during the week. If you turn in one assignment during the week, you will be counted as present. Now, if you only do one assignment every week, you're not going to get a good grade in the class, but that will at least keep you from being counted absent for that week. Okay, so if you've got a crazy week and you're behind, at least take the time to do one assignment. Most of the homework assignments won't take you more than 10 or 15 minutes to do. Get one knocked out, and then, on Monday or Tuesday, try to catch back up. But that way you're at least not being counted absent. So typically what I do is first thing on Monday morning, I will get on and check to see if you've done your assignments for the week. I don't usually do detailed grading at that point. I just check to see if you did it so that I can mark attendance for that week. That's something that I have to keep up with. Otherwise, the people above my pay grade come after me because I'm not keeping up with my attendance. So at 8 a.m. on Monday, you can expect that if you haven't done everything for the week, you will be counted absent, and you'll get an automatic email from me that says, hey, you were counted absent today. Whether you make stuff up does not affect your attendance. Okay. You are still counted absent for that week. Now, you turn everything in within 48 hours and you'll still get your full credit, but the absence still counts. Okay. And the way that our attendance policy works as far as administrative withdrawals, which means me dropping you from the class, is that if you have 2 absences in the course, okay, so if you have 2 weeks, which is 25% of this course, that you don't do any homework in, and you have a failing grade, both of those conditions have to be met. So if you have a failing grade, but you don't have any absences, then I'm not going to drop you. If you have 4 absences, but you still have, by some strange miracle, like a 70% in the class, I'm not going to drop you. But if you have 2 absences and below a 60% in the class, then you will be dropped. Okay, so please be aware of that. I've had students that get surprised whenever I drop them. Or I have students that say, oh, I thought you would have dropped me by now because I was not doing well. And it's like, well, you have to meet these exact conditions. Now, if you feel like you're overwhelmed and you're not going to be able to finish the class, then you can withdraw yourself from the class. You just have to go to the registrar's page on the portal to be able to withdraw yourself from the class, or you can call the school and they'll help you get it taken care of. Okay, that's not something that I can do. You actually have to go directly to the registrar's office to do that if you want to withdraw yourself. Okay, and there is a last day to withdraw. I believe it's a week before finals. So if you're getting towards the end of July and you don't feel like you're going to be able to recover your grade for the class, then I do suggest that you go ahead and withdraw. It's much better on your transcript to have a withdrawal than to have an F. Okay, and that's only if you're sure that you're going to fail, and it's usually a good idea. I have had students before will shoot me an email and say, "Hey, should I go ahead and withdraw, or do you think that I can pull out this grade?" And those students end up with an A in the class because they really had plenty of chances to get their grade up. They just needed to do it, and as long as you kind of get it together and do it, then you're okay. But again, communication is the key. Talking to me is very, very important. Okay. Talked about the makeup and late work, time management. Again, you have to manage your time. These 8-week classes are fast. You have to be responsible for yourself. I'm not going to remind you every day to do your homework. Okay, this isn't high school anymore. You're not coming and seeing me physically every day, so it's not like I can stop you as you're coming in or out of class and say, hey, make sure you get your homework turned in. Okay, for these online classes like this, you have to be pretty self-sufficient. All right, set reminders for yourself if you need them, but please make sure that you're staying on top of everything. Okay. You do have requirements, technology requirements. Hopefully, if you're taking an online class, you've got all this stuff taken care of. Let me know if you need help with any of it. Okay, I think all the rest of this stuff you can read on your own. You will need to download the Respondus Monitor, and there's a link to do that in Blackboard when you go to kind of the main institution page. It is required for our exams. So it's a lockdown browser, and what that means is it actually works as a browser just like Google Chrome or Firefox or Safari or something like that. But it locks you out of everything except for the test that you're taking at that time. It also accesses a webcam. That is a requirement for online classes. So if you're taking an exam, you have to have that webcam on, and it's going to record you taking the test, and it'll flag it if it looks like you're doing something sketchy. I'll go in and review it. And, if I have had to fail students because they're obviously cheating on the test. So do be aware of that. Now, if you don't have access to that or you're not comfortable with that, you can take the exams in the testing center at the university, but you've got to contact them well ahead of time to make an appointment. So if you're going to do that, then about a week before the exam, you need to be contacting them to make your appointment. You can't wait until after the exam is due and then say, oh, I was going to go take it at the testing center. That doesn't work. You still miss the deadline. Okay, so please make sure that you get that taken care of ahead of time. Okay? All the rest of this stuff is normal. You can check out all that stuff. All right, going back over here, Probably the most important document that you're going to want, and I would suggest printing this out and stapling it to your forehead or putting it on your mirror in your bathroom or something so that you can see it all the time, is this course outline and due dates. This is the entire course laid out in front of you. Every single assignment, every single quiz, every single test, and exactly when it's due. Okay, I don't create surprise assignments. I don't do anything like that. It's all there. It's all already done. Okay, and that document looks like this. Okay, and I am zoomed in a little bit just so that we can read it on the screen as we go through it. So what I've done here is, this is an 8-week class, as I said. So I've got every week lined up with the dates of that week, exactly what assignments are due. If there's a quiz that week, it tells you. You've got some highlighted spots for some special things, the performance assessments and the exams, so that you can pay attention to those and know when those are. But this is everything that you need to know to get done for the week. And I actually have this in multiple places. I'm going to show you that as well. But this is a great document for you to have on hand to be able to access it and say, okay, I've got this, and this due this week. Or you can look at a week and say, wait, that looks pretty light. I can maybe relax a little bit this week and it won't be as big of a deal. But then you have some weeks where you have a lot of stuff due and you need to pay attention there. So, for example, this first week, which starts today, which is June 5th, as you're watching this, hopefully today, I'm actually recording this the Thursday before, but you get the idea. And it goes to the next Monday. So I count weeks as Monday to Monday for the purposes of this class. So week 1, June 5th through June 12th. All of your assignments are due on June 12th, Monday at 8 a.m. That is consistent for every week of this class. Everything's due on Monday, on the following Monday at 8 a.m. All right? You've got a syllabus assignment, which is just a little quiz about the syllabus. You have a practice assignment, which is set up kind of like these listening assignments. It'll only take, it's like 3 questions on there. You download the Word document, you fill out your answers on the Word document and re-upload it. So that's due this week, and then we actually have to get into the course. We have to cover chapter 1 in the first week, or unit 1 in the first week, to be able to get through everything we need to. So we hit the ground running in these classes. So please be prepared for that. So you have 2 multiple choice assignments that are due, and that'll cover everything in part 1. And then you have 3 listening assignments. Actually, it looks like 4 listening assignments that are due. And I've got another video that'll explain to you how to do those listening assignments for this class, so that just to not take up extra time here. And then your first quiz is due on Monday. So you got a lot of stuff to do this week. Hopefully you're watching this on Monday and not on Friday, because you're going to have a busy weekend if you wait until Friday to try to do all this stuff. All right? And then for every single week, I go through, I tell you when things are due, what's due that week, and all of that good stuff. You'll notice that most of the weeks look the same. You've got some multiple choice assignments, you've got some listening assignments, you've got a quiz. There are a few weeks where you don't have a quiz, just because they're longer units, stuff like that. But for the most part, you've got a quiz pretty much every week. And you do have a couple of discussion boards. We are required to do discussion boards. I know everybody hates discussion boards, but you have discussion board 1 is due July 3rd, so that's week 4. And then discussion board 2 is due on July 24th, so that's week 7, the end of week 7. So those are spread out a little bit for you, and I'll show you how to do those in just a minute. The midterm exam is due on July 3rd. If you want to set that in your calendar on your phone, set a big reminder for yourself. That's a big one. You got to make sure you get that done. Okay, and then the final exam for the class will actually be due, and this is the only time, the only thing that's not due at 8 a.m. All right, that is due on August 2nd, which is a Wednesday at 6 p.m. The reason for that is that I have to have grades turned in on August 3rd by 9 a.m. So if I set the final exam to be due at 8 a.m. on that day, I would have literally an hour to get all my grades finalized and submitted, and that's not going to work for me. So everything has to be done by 6 p.m. on August 2nd for your final exam. Now, that final will actually open up several days before that, so you'll be able to take it earlier if you want to go ahead and knock it out and be done with it and not have to deal with it. But it is due at 6 p.m. So please make sure that you're staying on top of that. Okay, again, I recommend printing this out, sticking it somewhere, or at least saving this document on your desktop or someplace where you can quickly access it every day to be able to see what you've got going on. And some students I've had will even go through and they'll highlight stuff as they do it to make sure that they've got it done for that week, and they can go in and check, oh, okay, I did all this stuff, I should be good to go. All right, so that is that document. All right, the course expectations, I'll let you read through those on your own. It's pretty basic stuff. Just do your work, make sure that you're getting stuff turned in, and you're good to go. Okay, so where you will find the bulk of what we actually do in this class is over here in course materials. Okay, so this folder has everything that you need to do. Again, this is copied over here so that you can see that. Hopefully, if that's the first thing you click on, you still get all the same information. And then I've got some folders down here that you can see. Now, I do need to, those will go away. I should have those set to where you can't see them yet, but those will be the last few things that you see as instructions for the final exam and stuff like that. But for each week, I have a folder set up for you. Okay, so week 1, you click on that folder, and this is everything that you need to know for week 1. All of the assignments that you have to do. It's got lecture videos. It's got videos of the music that you have to know. It's all there under the week 1 section. And you've got your instructions up here. And again, it's a lot of the same instructions that you've already got. Read over the syllabus. And then you've got some practice assignments below that you'll click on. These, when it has a little link here, most of the time that's a video. So how to install Respondus Lockdown Browser, you've got a video for that, so you can do that. Your syllabus quiz is there, and it does require the Lockdown Browser. That's more of a practice for you, so make sure that you've got it downloaded for that. Practice assignment 1, your multiple choice assignments, which these pop up like quizzes. This video, the How to Complete Assignments video, I recommend that you watch that so that you can see how to do everything. If you are a Mac user, which I am, you might be able to tell that I'm using a Mac, you need to watch this video, okay? Because these assignments that you do, if you do them in Pages and you upload a Pages file instead of a Word document, I can't grade them. Blackboard doesn't convert them properly, so it doesn't work. So you've got to actually export your assignments to a PDF or a Word document before you upload it into the assignment. So watch that video and you'll get all the details about that if you need to. So all your assignments are here. Quiz 1 is there for you to be able to take. And then you've got your listening assignment videos for 1.1. So this is everything that's in 1.1, those 2 pieces for listening assignment 1.1. You've got listening assignment 1.2 video, The Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra. You can watch that and be able to listen to it. And then you've got some more videos here for like 1.3, 1.5, 1.6, and 1.8 and 1.9. All of these different videos for each chapter of part 1. Okay. You also have links to a couple of lectures. These are when I was still teaching in-person classes. I recorded my lectures so that you could access them online. So if you're somebody that needs to hear a lecture, then do that. If you click on this one, don't watch the first 40 minutes because it's kind of all the same stuff you're already getting. So skip ahead to about 38:50, and that's where I actually start the lecture on chapter 1. Okay. Again, you've got all the same stuff that's on that course outline is right here, what assignments are due for the week and all of that good stuff. Now, just to clarify, because I always have questions about this, the assignment names, I know they're a little weird, but I want to explain to you why they're set up that way. It's actually designed to give you as much information as possible. So MC is always a multiple choice assignment. So multiple choice assignment 1.1-4. The way that works is the first number is the unit, okay, or the part, as the textbook calls it. So week 1 is all of part 1 of the book. And then the other numbers are the chapters in that part. So this first assignment covers chapters 1 through 4 of part 1. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but they're short chapters. Okay, like I said, it is the brief edition of the textbook, so it's not super long for you. And then this one, 1.5-10, covers chapters 5 through 10 of the textbook of part 1. So when you go over to part 2, they'll all start with a 2. So if you're looking through the grade book or something and you see, okay, wait a minute, I have a 0 for assignment 1.5-10. Okay, that was part 1, and you can go back and figure that out. It also tells you where you can find the answers. So all of these questions for this multiple choice assignment, the answers can be found in the first 4 chapters of the book. Okay, so hopefully that makes life easier for you. The same thing with the listening assignments. So the first listening assignment, both of those are covered in 1.1. The second one is covered in 1.2, and then 3-8 is chapters 3 through 8 have their own listening things that you need to listen to. And again, if you watch this How to Complete Your Assignments video, it'll explain all of that to you. Right. I do want to show you something really quick for the multiple choice assignments that will come in handy for you. When you click on the multiple choice assignments, you get this little screen first and just hit begin. So this is what your assignments look like. It's almost like a quiz, but these are open book. You can find everything you need to there. And one of the great things about it is, number one, you have unlimited chances to do these. So if you do these first 37 questions and you completely bomb it and you missed everything, you can go back and do it again as many times as you need to be able to get the grade. So I tell students there is no reason not to have 100% on your multiple choice assignments. And part of that is because if you hit save and submit, so I'm not even going to put any answers in yet. I'm going to hit save and submit, and I'm going to hit OK. And it actually pulls up, when I go down here and hit OK, it'll show me every answer, the choice that I selected, and the correct answer. Okay? The green check mark is the correct answer. So if you have 2 green check marks, then you got that question right. And it shows you over here. If it was right, you get a 1 out of 1. Okay? If it has a little X, that's the wrong answer. So the bottom one is the correct answer. Okay, so you can actually go through and you can get all of the correct answers and then go do the quiz again. Now, it does randomize these questions, so you can't just say, okay, number 1 is B, number 2 is, it's not going to work that way. The answer order is changed and stuff like that. You can print this. It's a little bit complicated to do so. If you right-click in one of the things, whether you're on a Mac or on a PC, you should see something that says print frame or something along those lines. And when you click on that, then it gives you the option to print all of it like this. Now, if you're using a physical printer, I know most of you guys have never even seen a physical printer in your life. So, but if you're using a physical printer, it's going to take up a lot of pages. I recommend saving it to a PDF file and opening it up to be able to do your questions that way. Okay, so I strongly recommend that you use that. Take advantage of that to be able to get the grade that you want. Okay, it takes a little bit of time, but it will help you out in the long run. Now, also, what's handy about this is that for each part, okay, there are 50 questions. So between these 2 multiple choice assignments, there are 50 questions total. Half of those questions will be the quiz. So you can also use those sheets to study for your quiz. Now, the quiz is not open book. You should not have this stuff open whenever you're taking the quiz. Okay, you should be doing this from memory, but it's all those same questions. So you can study them and know what you're supposed to answer for those. Okay? Again, watch the video for how to complete all of the other assignments. I go through details on all of that stuff. Okay, what else do I need to show you? Oh yeah, for each week, by the way, so you'll notice that only week 1 is showing up for you now. On the Friday before that week starts, the new week will appear. So this Friday, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, June 9th, you'll see week 2 show up. So you've got until the 12th to do your assignments for week 1, but you can go ahead and start on the week 2 over the weekend before if you want to. So I try to overlap them a little bit. I know I have students that like to get ahead on stuff. Now, if you know, for example, that you're going on vacation at the end of June or something like that, and there's going to be a week where you're incapacitated, you're not able to get your stuff done, or even if you're having a baby. I've had almost every semester I have somebody that says, I'm having a baby at this time. I had my first daughter was born when I was in graduate school. So even not being the person that had to give birth to the child, I know how stressful that time is. So I do want to make sure that you are covered for that. So please, again, communicate with me. Let me know, hey, I've got, I am due on this date. There's a chance that I'm going to be out for whatever. If you let me know, then I'll know that in advance, and I'll give you the leniency that I need to. I want you to make sure that you have the time that you need. Okay, I have had a student before, bless her heart, that I was watching her exam video, and she was literally in the hospital room hours after delivering, taking an exam for my class. And I sent her an email and I said, please don't, you take your time and rest. Okay. That's important. And life is way more important than music appreciation. Okay. So please, please, please just let me know what's going on, and I will help you out as much as I can. I'll give you some leniency. I can make things available early to you so you can plan ahead. Whatever you need to do. Okay. I am here for you. I want you to be successful. I am not a stickler about all of this stuff. Please just communicate with me, preferably ahead of time if possible. All right. And I know stuff happens. You're not always able to communicate ahead of time, but as much as possible, please just let me know what's going on, and I'll be able to work with you as much as possible on stuff. Okay. I think that is all that you need for now. I will each week, I'll have a little mini instruction video that'll show you, kind of talking about what's due for the week and stuff like that. And I may try to update some of my lectures. You'll see that stuff pop up in the folders. So just check out the folder every week and go through all the materials there, and you should be good to go. Please read instructions in detail. I cannot tell you how many emails I get asking questions that are clearly printed there. So please make sure you read those in detail. And also, I do recommend as soon as possible that you click on this performance assessments folder, watch this video. Notice that some of the dates, this is a previously recorded video, so the due dates are going to be different. Your due dates are correct right here. But learn all about the performance assessments there and start working on those as quickly as you can. All right, those are very important. They're a big chunk of your grade, and I want you to make sure that you get those taken care of. Okay, I think that's all I've got for you. If you have any questions, you've got my email address right there. I do try to check my email every couple of hours. You can usually expect a reply from me within 24 hours, with the exception of weekends. So please be aware that my weekends are my family time. And I work at a church, so Sundays are kind of crazy for me. So if you send me an email at 10 o'clock on Friday night, don't expect to get a response until Monday. So please be aware of that. I have had students, I got an email from my dean one Monday that said, so-and-so said that you had emailed them, or they had emailed you and you never responded. And I looked, and they had emailed me at midnight on Friday, and they were mad that I hadn't emailed them back by Monday at 8 a.m. Okay, probably not going to happen. Just be aware of that. So I will get back to you as quick as I can, though, if you do shoot me an email. Okay, that's all I got for you. I hope you guys have a great semester. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you, and I'll see you at the finish line. Take care.